What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action in the bottom side of the map, playing as Zeus. His name is Tudasend. In the top of the map, playing as the Red Frere. His name is Pegasus. I'm excited to watch this game. I haven't got to see a whole lot of Frere recently. He kind of fell out of popularity to some degree. I'm not even sure if it was even because of him being weak or him being strong. People just decided, nah, I don't want to play this god anymore. They're going to play something else. I personally think he's been really good since his inception. He's had buffs, he's had nerfs, he's had sideways movements. Right now, Norse just got a fairly significant helping hand, and they've been doing well again. I wouldn't say they're doing too well. I wouldn't say it's an overpowered civ or anything, but they're doing very, very well right now, and that feels fantastic. On the bottom side as well, Greeks had some sideways movements. I would say Greek has been overall buffed in this patch as well, as they, well, I felt like they were doing okay in the last patch, especially against some of the more powerful gods, but against some of the more, funnily enough, some of the more weaker gods, they were having some issues against to some degree. So it's funny how the balance sort of sits, but I think Zeus is in a really, really good spot right now. I'm excited to see what Tunnison's going to come up with on this map. I've got my own thoughts, feelings, and decisions to make about what I think with Zeus, but I definitely think that a lot of Zeus's power now has been shifted away from what he was doing before, which was god power spamming. He can still do a little bit of it, but it's been shifted away from that and really pushed into something inside of the myth units. So I just want to give you a little rundown of exactly why I think this, and we are actually going to be seeing Hermes here, which is a little bit odd given that we are on somewhat of a closed map, that the center are a little bit, how to put it, they're not very serviceable in the way that players have been using them before. However, let me break it down. Zeus has a bonus which gives all of his myth units -1 population. So if you understand anything about what population really means, you'll understand that this means that when at full population, if we have a significant amount of myth units, our army is going to be much more powerful. So how do we get a significant amount of myth units? Well, you just got to start working towards it. You got to build a death ball. That's where Zeus is at his strongest, is a 235 population death ball of around 22 population myth units, whether that's going to be the Minotaur or the Centaur. You could also make, I believe, the Manticore. Am I wrong on that? No, you can't build the Manticore. I mean, it's 3 population. It's still really, really good. Don't get me wrong. Hydra 3 population. Colossus 3 population. Medusa 3 population. So they're all very, very, very cheap on that population thing. But the Centaur and the Minotaur are your 2 main death ball units. If you get, just compare it. You compare it to a Toxodyy. If I had one Centaur or one Toxodyy in my army, which one do you want? I'll wait. You guys can think about it. Which one do you want? You want the Centaur? Okay, you want the Centaur. Yes, it obviously costs way more, but that's not... It doesn't matter. We're building a death ball. It's like the same thing with the Atlantean Fulmer Miller hero army, right? Like, yeah, it costs way more, but once you get it, it doesn't die. That's the point, right? All right. Anyways, well, let's talk about this. We see Ula coming through from Pegasus. This is generally your best bet versus the Greeks. You get access to the Draugr. The Draugr is fantastic versus the Centaur. I'm watching the actual trade right here, and it's not actually going super well, but it outranges the Centaur by a little bit, by a lot. It does a lot of damage. It gets even stronger once you get the upgrade, and it allows you to actually prevent these guys from being a big fat issue. But then again, if the heroes get on top of the Draugr will die, so you have to be very, very careful with them. There's a little bit of a fight happening here, and Pegasus is more than happy to take this. Like, yeah, he might lose some HP. Yes, the Jason and the Heracles can get their HP back from getting their upgrade, but... It starts to get scouted. Pegasus drops the Asgardian Hillfort. But favor comes in for Pegasus. I like the aggressiveness here from Pegasus as well to drop this Asgardian Bastion over here after he gets out the Hearth. So generally speaking, as we do see the Centaur coming in over here, generally speaking, the advantage of Greek versus Norse comes a little bit later in the game. So if you wait on the Asgardian Bastion, then well, it's going to be able to be denied. It's now going to see some hoplites coming through. We also see a stable coming in from Tunison as well. Recently, the Throw and Axeman, or in this exact patch, the Throw and Axeman did get a slight rework. I wouldn't even say it's a rework, just a little bit of a power shift. As the villagers coming over here, the Centaur do send them back home. Ursa is in to shoo them away. That slight side shift in power is more damage versus infantry, slightly, and less damage versus everything else. And that's going to include the Hippias. And that's going to be a unit there that can actually help deal with the Throw and Axeman now. I was like saying before this, I would never build cavalry versus Norse because there's just no reason. The Throw and Axeman do enough damage versus the cav when you mix in your own cav. So, for example, if you go like Hippias Toxotes versus Norse, the Norse player would basically be able to go full rating cavalry throwing axemen and the throwing axemen would be fine to add in and mix in for the like remnants of wood that you aren't spending. Didn't make much sense. Of course, why would I build Toxotes against cav, but I'm building Toxotes against the... Anyway, point is, now, Hippias Hoplites does seem like an option. Hippias Hoplites to Hoplites beat the cav, Hippias beat the Throw and Axeman. Don't need the Toxotes. Of course, if you go Hippias Hoplites, your opponent might be able to go in for something like Berserks. There's a Centaur getting a little bit more damage done over here, and the Hoplite's going to come through and say, I would like to enter your base. Please let me in. Pegasus is going to say, no, I don't want to fight you. Watchtower's coming through. All these upgrades coming in slowly for Pegasus as well. As the house will go down, these villagers will have to pull back over onto their goats again. Otherwise, the Centaur are going to get some damage. Pegasus going for the garrison tricks here, trying to get onto these Centaur. The Centaur did get moved to 10 range, and the whole point of that changed to some degree. As little pokes to come in, you be so careful. The whole point of that change to some degree was to lessen the early game threat of the Centaur. This is what a lot of players struggle against. And I think to some degree that's actually happened as the tower now, Watchtowers is through, and Pegasus gets a lot of damage here done onto Tunison as he has to pull away, and this position now is locked up. Pegasus is actually having to drop farms now, though. That hurts. He's not able to get over onto his giraffe onto this side. Meanwhile, for some reason, Tunison is not opting to go to his giraffe. He's gone onto the berries first and foremost. I think he's like a little scared that he might get love tapped by some Huskarl or something. 5 Huskarl come through. He's going to come and charge onto this position. But reality, he's the one who's the aggressor here. If those Huskarl pop out, they're going to get picked off by Centaur, by Hoplites, and all that other good stuff. And he should just be on this hunt. But nonetheless, he's going for a town center. Whether or not Pegasus saw this with his Pegasus relic, he does have 3 relics here. Bridle of Pegasus, Wu Hao Bow of Huang Di, and the Eye of Horus. Looks like he hasn't spotted it. He might have. He might have seen the villagers walk over there and might just know, but Tunison going for a town center now, and this gives Pegasus the option, or the opportunity now, to actually go and grab his own second town center. Grabbing this one's already would always be nice. He's got a gold mine behind him that can help. This can help defend with Gul and Bursty. This gold mine as well can be an option to come and lock up as well. And he can start looking to wall up the map as well. As the upgrades coming through. Spirit of Charge on the way as well. That boosts up both the Hippias and the Centaur's speed. So they're both at 5.5. And I think they go up to 6.1, maybe? 6.05? I can't remember. But yeah, it's very, very fast. Meanwhile, A-Gear on the way. We will see the Copper Shield, Copper Weapons, Copper Armor. Pegasus taking a long time to come and drop his town center. I think he did miss the fact that Tunison went for a town center over here. This will obviously slow down Tunison a bit. Oh, Tunison going for... I don't like the Apollo pick here. I think the synergy of Hermes Dionysus is... It's just too much to say no to. It is just too much to say no to. You get Thracian horses for your cav, And while Cav might not be super helpful in this specific matchup, I think it's always going to be nice to have, just in case this is going to have some Jarls coming in. You need to build Prodromus, for example. But the more important tech, which little known tech is Dionysia. It's 5% extra HP. What's 5% of 300, ladies and gentlemen? What's 5% of... It's 15 extra HP for your Centaur. It might not seem like a lot, but you get 15 extra HP on your Centaur from that tech. You get an extra 25% HP from getting to the Heroic Age. You get an extra 25% HP from getting to the Mythic Age. It's still a 2-pop Centaur. This is what I'm trying to bring up. This is what I'm trying to explain to people who are telling me that the Centaur is not very strong anymore. It's incredibly powerful. I'm pretty excited to see if Tunison is going to keep going this way, but he going Apollo, loses out a little bit of bonus here. Going to come in and try and harass this position, but he hasn't really been building units here. So this town center will go the wayside of Pegasus. There's a little bits of damage to come through. Centaur going to come over onto this side. Village differential is very much in favor of Tunison for the time being. He's up onto his baboons over here, or his monkeys, I should say. And he is advancing to the next age as the farms will come down. Walls coming up all over the map, and we will be getting ourselves a slow movement into the mid game here, as the general game plan of Frere is to sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. You don't want to force anything unless it's like a ram all in or some sort of random cheese that Soup has concocted. But you don't want to force anything too crazy. Just lock the map up, put the walls down, get everything sorted, and enjoy. Meanwhile, Tunison is going to wander around the map in his rush, to some degree, to get to the Heroic Age. Instead of building out a bunch of units and trying to lock up the map and prevent these walls from coming up and things like that, in his rush to get the Heroic Age, Pegasus will take this opportunity to defend his position. He's going to wall up all over onto this side. This secures himself a gold mine, and all of that other good stuff. Tunison could think about going for another town center if he wants. He could think about trying to get to the Mythic Age if he wants. He could think about trying to put pressure over here and break these walls down and lock off these gold mines here. He can wander forward with some villages as well and look to wall off this and this. That'd be a really, really nice move to do as well. But because he's gone to the Heroic Age, he obviously feels like he doesn't have the military advantage or anything like that to take that risk. As the Pegasus will just see what's going on over here. Lots and lots of throwing axemen. Again, Hippias would be fantastic versus those throwing axemen, but without going for Dionysus, it makes it a little bit less fun to make that happen. Instead, we're going to see the Hypaspis, probably Hypaspis Peltast, is going to be the choice now for Tunison as Pegasus moves into the center of the map. Going to lock this down, break down some walls, and try and take more of the map for himself. But Tunison is just a little bit slower to get himself fully organized here. His villager advantage is paying itself off. The upgrades, however, will keep Pegasus close for a little bit longer than any other Civ can possibly manage. The units will come in here for the time being. And of course, Peltast, Centaur might not be the ceasefire, right? Ceasefire, right? There's the ceasefire. Okay. I was like, hey, we just got hit with the Tempest. Let's just pull back and ceasefire. This is fine. And these units will pop out of the oh god, the damage. These units will pop out of the Tempest. Well, this one will. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Good amount of damage from Pegasus. He's going to lock this position up after that as well. Coming up to the top side now to grab this town center. And I think this is partly why I was also saying go Dionysus. If you've got all of these Centaur out, the Centaur protect one massive weakness of the Hippias in this matchup. You do see the Underworld actually coming in, going to say, no, I don't want you to grab this town center. This has probably been the idea all along from Tunison. He's going to be able to hit these villages over here And Pegasus will make a break for it over onto this gold mine. I think that Tunison will spot this. He does. So the units over here going to be pulling back, and the rest of the army from Pegasus is going to be coming in. Good damage done onto this position over here, as well as the throw and axeman will get that damage done. But this is not a good fight for Tunison here. Not a good fight at all. It's the Goaty going to be taking out one Manticore there. And over onto this side, the Hippias do go after the villagers, but Berserk's getting converted to keep himself alive. And Tunison going to have to pull back up onto this spot. But to finish my thought, the center protect the weakness of the Hippias, which is the Herdman. If you got full Hippias at the moment with Thracian horses, heavy Hippias, all of these Thrown Axemen do nothing. All of those Goaty do nothing. Those Herso do nothing. And the Centaur and Manticore, well, no, it doesn't have Manticore. Centaur will protect against any sort of Herdman getting built. So it makes the more you think about it, the more it makes sense going Dionysus here. But nonetheless, over onto this side, one Centaur versus all these Berserks. He's doing his best. No real. Apparently, he's attacking the Pegasus instead of the Berserks. Don't ask me why that's going on. I don't have a good answer. Back up onto this side, trying to take out those units here as the Centaur going to be juking around at the back. But I think this Underworld Passage play has fallen short. Pegasus has gotten a lot of value here. He's got 200 favor in the bank. He can go for another Tempest if he wants. You know the way that I would pick at this point if I was Pegasus? I'd probably actually go in for 1 or 2 Rock Giants. Always good to have 1 or 2 in your army, just so you can deal with a Pacifist. It's the best way to, it's like Rock Giant, Throw an Axeman, Huskarl. If you don't have that Thracian horses and you don't have that Spirited Charge, that Huskarl Rock Giant Throwing Axeman army is so hard to beat, especially just with infantry archer. And that's what the Greek players have been playing since the inception of Greek, since literally someone came up, I think probably the Mister or someone came in and said, guys, if you just build Hoplite Peltas, nothing beats this at the start of the game, basically. You can beat it, but it's like you can also win any fight with good control. Except for the Huskarl Throwing Axeman, Rock Giant. The Taunt wins that fight for you in more ways than one, as Pegasus is now going to come over onto this side, just dropping a hill fort. We do see the town center up over here from Tunison, and that does get spotted by Pegasus. There is still a villager advantage here for Tunison, but he is sort of chasing the military difference, and Pegasus is locking up the top side of the map here as well. Walls going down all over the place. We've got dwarves coming over onto this gold mine, doing all of that good stuff. Ballistics on the way, hoplites coming through, everything else. Tunison is behind on the upgrades there as well for his stuff. Look at those Manticore in though, as this is everything that Tunison wants to do right now. Is he just wants those Manticore to hit the Throwing Axeman. I kind of feel like he can simply just come forward and kill this position. Goaty queued up now for Pegasus as well. He's like, oh, I better get some heroes out to deal with all the myth units. As the hill forts will get taken down very quickly by all those Zeus hoplites. They do have that bonus damage versus buildings. Asgardian hill fort on the top. Great haul coming up here as well, as Pegasus is trying to get as much of the gold as he possibly can. 1 gold mine here. This one's almost done. This one over here needs to be secured as well, as the walls will come up on this side for Tunison. Stone walls also going to come through. This is the technology that is somewhat, but funnily enough, no one was grabbing this technology a year ago. It hasn't changed 1 iota. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing people say that it's too strong. So it goes from no one ever picking it up and no one really walling to, wait, this technology is bonkers. Riddle me that. I don't have an answer for that one. That one doesn't make any sense to me. Either it's too weak or it's too strong or it's not. I don't know. It's definitely a fun tech. 1600 HP on these stone walls now is nice. Obviously, the siege is out, and that's going to be able to tear down the walls quickly. Berserk over here is literally just enjoying killing off villagers, as you probably probably just want to turn around and shank that one. But Fortress coming down over onto this side. Walls coming up over onto this side as well from Pegasus. He's going to try and lock off gold mines there too. Nice play from Pegasus to be over there as the buildings are going to come up. Simply put, against Norse, you've got to have some semblance of multitasking available to yourself to have a couple of units, specifically Hypaspis, specifically Hypaspis, around so that you can prevent this type of thing. Because this here is all happening because Tunison doesn't have the map presence over. He doesn't need a lot. He just needs a population, like six population of infantry over there, or 2 population of myth unit, right? All he needs is something over there and he can lock that position up. But he is full focused on his death ball because he knows that if he goes into a death ball, he is not going to have any problems. We do have the Inferno coming down, gets a big amount of damage on, and another ceasefire from Tunison as he's like, that hurt a lot. He was winning this fight up until that Inferno, but ceasefire is actually something that Pegasus is going to be happy about because look at these technologies. 125 seconds, 150 seconds, 125 seconds, 100 seconds. Everything takes a very, very long time here to come through. Everything takes a very, very long time. So an extra 30 seconds of waiting, no problems. That's what we want. And like Pegasus is more than happy to just wait another, like let's just chill for 5 minutes, get every single upgrade we possibly can, and then we'll fight. And he's going to be very happy about that. But the Fortress will finish up over on this side for Tunison as he's trying to grab this gold mine. He can throw up a market in the corner, and he can look to play this late game. He's going a Firestus, which, I mean, I don't like this either. I'll finish off my final thought on the myth unit power that Zeus has, and only Zeus has. Of course, Demeter kind of has it to some degree as well, but Demeter's missing out on Hermes, missing out on the population reduction, and missing out on Dionysus. But Hera comes with a technology that boosts your myth units. I'll just show you it, just because we're going to miss out on it here. It's called Monstrous Rage. So yeah, that's a big loss. A very, very, very big loss to miss out on. Of course, Hephaestus comes in and Tunison will be able to research his technologies here for his human units to get stronger, but we're not playing Age of Empires, we're playing Age of Mythology. But he will be able to get himself some boosted economy. He's going to be able to bring the Colossus over and start breaking down this side position, which he needs to break down. He needs to prevent this from becoming too much of an issue as he does break through this wall. One thing he can do now here is come in and drop a wall like this right in the center of this position, just to make these walls that Pegasus has built be completely useless, and he can't use it anymore. He has to build around it. Again, the Colossus will come through and start getting some good damage done. Over onto this side, Great Hall does get cleaned up as the stone gates going down. We'll have the Goatees getting cleaned up over here as well as they're pulling back. And Tunison is looking very, very strong at the moment as... Well, I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but Gullenbursty is called. The units pulling back for the time being here as the Manticore will completely dispatch of those low HP. Those low HP Berserks. We do have the Fafnir in. Of course, you do need to get your heroes out. Fafnir's a unit that you got to be very, very careful with against Greek. It's not a unit I would often build, actually, versus Greek. I like building it versus Norse. I like building it versus Japan. I like building it versus the Aztecs. But against Greek, it's quite tough to keep it alive versus those Greek heroes. So it's better to build the Rock Giant. It's better to build the Draugr. It's better to build maybe a Valkyrie as well if you want to go Freya, Bragi as Freya, as well as a very nice option to go Valkyrie, because you can keep yourself away from the heroes, keep them safe while you're busy taking them down. But they just have so much Greek heroes just have so much HP that they're going to be able to take out your big fat myth units a lot easier. So you just have to be somewhat aware of that when you're playing and picking the right myth units to build. You can't just build anything against everything and make it work. The wall came back up from Pegasus as Tunison didn't make any effort there to deny that. That one I'm going to go with it for that one perpendicular wall would have basically prevented all of this from this specific nonsense from happening. But still, Pegasus also over on this side causing problems as we've got the Bellerophon to come through. Bellerophon's always a nice answer for this as well. This is some like old school sieging behavior from Pegasus. I say old school, but people have still been doing this in every single late game. Build some walls, put range siege behind it, and you can siege, right? But Bellerophon says no to that. Oh, never mind. Bellerophon will have to wait for his jump ability as he decides he wants to just sit here and be AFK for a little bit. But Bellerophon will wait. He's got his jump back in. He has to jump over the wall. Or at the very least, he's going to try again, and he is not what he used to be. He's a shell of his former self. But he does break down the wall. I want to see that perpendicular wall get dropped down again from Tunison. It really isn't like just take 5 villages, 10 villages, build it. It doesn't take very long. Gate it so it doesn't block your own pathway. It just has to be a 21 gold wall like this. Gate it and you're good to go. As the hill fort gets picked off over here. And while that's all going on, however, Pegasus is saying, if you want to push me on that right side, I'm going to come in and take this side, as he is very quickly spamming buildings all over the place. We do have the Eye of Horus in as well here for Pegasus, so that's going to be helping him get just a little bit more population, but he is struggling on population here while this is all going on. He's not at full pop. He's got some resources in the bank, but still having some issues as the donkey caravans are starting up. Does Tunison not have any gold mines left? He does have this one, but he's only getting gold from this position at the moment and his trade caravans. So this is sort of where the big moments for Tunison become very, very important. He's got to come in here, lock this position off again. Please build this wall. Like, you just come in, build this wall. Just do this. Otherwise, Pegasus, he's got this wall here, I guess. But Pegasus is just going to come back in and get onto this position again, unless he's very, very careful here. Stone walls coming up, maybe in a fortress in here as well to lock up this spot. Fortress coming back up onto this position as the Bellerophon comes through to dive in onto these heavy ballista. One unit here that Tunison could be building to help him out is the Colossus. Of course, the Colossus right now would be an amazing unit to be adding in for Tunison. Get both of these upgrades in. Colossus comes in, kills the watchtowers, kills the heavy baluster. It's only 4 population, I believe. Very, 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 very helpful here. Of course, it costs gold, which he doesn't have, but now he's got his gold mine, so he does have it. Up onto the top side, Berserks do get converted over here as they will be fighting this off. But those hoplites, even against these fully upgraded Berserks, I think they're fully upgraded. They are indeed. Hoplites doing not too badly here. That being said, I am somewhat surprised to see hoplites being built instead of the Hypaspist. Hypaspist makes some sense. The Ballast is still doing absolute work over here as the market's getting killed. Now we see the Colossus on the way, but only 5 villages on favor. So yes, the low amount of favor generation rate for Greeks was marginally improved. I think it was like something like 2%. But the larger favor gatherer rates, when you got units like, when you got about 10, 20, 30 villages on favor, that was improved a ton. So yeah, you can get these guys out in a big way, as I was hyping up the Colossus, and this guy is going to go down. He doesn't have any bonus versus myth units, does he? No. I think he just didn't quite have his upgrades in just yet. Now he's going to get the Shoulder of Talos. That's plus 25%. You get the next technology as well. Even more survivability, and he can actually get in maybe more than one Colossus to get in there and kill off all of this units is the ticket here. But we'll see if Tunison can make that happen anytime soon. Market's back up onto the top here as the fortress will come up over here. And Pegasus is getting himself his own hill fort. He does have himself now 18 ox caravans as well. It's important to not overdo it on that. We are seeing Fafnir here from Pegasus. It's, like I said, this is not a unit I would go all too often versus Zeus. In fact, partly because one, he can just bolt the Fafnir. It's 55 favor, sure, but he gets 250 resources back for it and kills your unit, so that's worth it if you ask me. But also just the hero presence is a lot. And of course, I guess if you're building the Fafnir and your opponent doesn't have gold or is struggling for gold, which is kind of the case here, you can find the value here. So this does actually make some sense for Pegasus, as he's going to charge through. We do have the Avenging Spirit technology also coming in for the Herser, as this Colossus will take out that hill fort going up on the front there. He is getting singed. He is very, very slow at 2.6 speed. That shoulder of Talos coming in very slowly here as he does die. Up onto this side, we are seeing the issues arising over here. There are watchtowers in to take out those berserks, but now that the entrance is open, the door is open, well, this could be some issues for Tunison that he's going to have to deal with. In fact, one thing that Pegasus can do is just turn all of those villages on the front into berserks, charge through, and then he can start spamming these buildings down. As the berserks will come in and pick up a couple of villages. Tunison going to be garrisoning, getting his shanks open, but the gate is open. Yeah, I was saying the Fafnir is not going to be super good. Yeah, now the Fafnirs are dying, and this is going to be right back over advantage for Tunison. Like I said, I don't think Fafnir versus Greek is the way to go. It's not one that I would go for. Unfortunate. I love the Fafnir, but you can't have a myth unit that's good in every single situation. Otherwise, well, that would be too much, right? Especially when there is a... How many myth units does the Greeks have now? They've got 3, they've got 4, they've got 12 different myth units. Surely we should have to try and build some other myth units in different situations, right? Did I say Greeks? The Norse? Yeah, the Norse have also got 12 different myth units, right? Do they? No. 11 different myth units. Because they don't have... They've only got 3 Mythic Age myth units. There you go. Alright. Bellerophon in to try and take out the back ballast there. And here, the Gold Colossus now has his time to shine as he comes in, smacks those. Of course, 2.6 speed on the Ballaster is at the same rate as the Gold Colossus, actually, when he's snared. But the Gold Colossus will be able to move fast enough to catch them up. But he can run and chase them for days here, as the wall will be able to come in for Tunison again up onto this position. I would like to see him attempt to get through this and get onto this trade route. This here is not protected enough from Pegasus. The other thing here that Tunison has, as he is making his way through, we will see the Section for Titans coming in for Tunison. Sorry, for Pegasus, as the Fafnir comes in. Get a little bit of damage done, but everything will be able to survive, apart from the foundation of that thing. But one thing here that Tunison does have options in is an Underworld Passage. Of course, he doesn't have the favor for it at all. He is making the Colossus here, but one Underworld Passage to get in on the back line, and life gets very, very tricky here for Pegasus. But he's going to go for his own Titan Gate. At the moment, Tunison doesn't have the resources himself to actually get his own out. His economy is struggling in a really big way at the moment. Not exactly sure why that is here, but he is not having a good time of it in the slightest at the moment. Trying to get his fortress up. He's losing units left, right, and center. His trade route, how much does he have here? He's got 41 trade caravans. He does have the guard towers up to help him on the defense. Does he have himself his upgrade? Yes, he does. So the towers are also stronger with that advanced fortifications technology. But he just doesn't have any units out. He is falling off the face of the planet here, and he actually taps out in this position. I mean, I don't even fully understand why Tunison's economy fell off the face of the planet here. I mean, he just lost all of his units to kind of nothing. I don't get it. All right, I'll break this down into the main mistake here that Tunison made. Apart from the fact that he probably should have gone Hermes, Dionysus, Hera in this position against Freyr for what I would consider to be a very difficult composition to actually be beating, which is going to be those late game Centaur with Hippias involved, and also then you can mix in another unit, which he was definitely missing here, which would have helped him out in more ways than one, was the Myrmidon. Take a look at the armor of the Berserk, 53%. As soon as your opponent gets to 50% hack armor, the Myrmidon becomes the best unit you can build for Zeus. And this is without even this technology in the armory. I can't show you it. The armory here, even without, nope, it's fine. Even without that Olympian weapons, this one here, even without this tech. This tech obviously helps out a lot. It gives an extra 20% bonus damage and some bonus versus myth units, but it's the bonus 20% damage you're after. But even without that, it becomes the best unit you can possibly build versus the Berserks. It's also amazing versus the Jarl at 45% hack armor. So there isn't a unit that Pegasus can build which you don't want to build the Myrmidon into. The Thrown Axeman is obviously there as well, but you're going to have some answers to that in Peltas, and he's actually not building that at all. He's only building the Heavy Ballaster. The Colossus were the right call here for Tunison to deal with those Ballaster, but he just wasn't quite able to get it all together. Colossus, Myrmidon, and he probably would have got out of this position and found a dub, but doesn't end up happening for him. Pegasus gets the dub. Very solid play. Great initiative. Great locking up of the map. Great constant pressure all over the place. A little bit of things I think I've learned here in this specific game as well is we just want to make sure that we're very aware of random berserks coming around onto the sides of the map. Just make sure that when we're moving out and climbing map, we just make sure that there's some Hypaspis there. And then you're good to go and everything's fine. Like that's going to be one very, very important thing for Greek players to have in the back of their mind when they're expanding. And it's going to allow them to shut everything up and they're going to have a good time. Nonetheless, if you guys enjoy this game, make sure you hit the follow on the Twitch, hit the follow on the YouTubes. Remember, we've got some tournaments coming up on the weekend, so if you are free, come tune in. We've got tournament games on Saturday, we've got tournament games on Sunday, and I'll see you guys in the next game.